This is a video I've been holding off for a while, and it's one of the videos I promised when I did the top 10 worst departures, okay, dealing with Golden State. More so the KD trade, Kevin Durant trade. And this one will be dealing with a lot of historical context. I thought about this a lot when I was hearing all these things. And people, see, I studied basketball history. I'm not the most knowledgeable like some are. Some are some old timers, some are not. But I'm quite studious at various levels. I've played pretty much my entire life. I know the game, okay? And I know some play, but they don't really know. I know the game very well, strategically and otherwise. And this whole Kevin Durant situation, honestly, I hate to bring it up because people are like, oh, don't pull the race card. This isn't pulling the race card. This is pulling out facts. This is honestly a racial issue. It's an issue that goes against an entire system that people just okay because it's the status quo that's subliminal, that's subconscious. Now, why do I say that? You go back to the history. Go all the way back. Dr. John Naismith. Now, I ain't calling the man a racist or anything. I don't know that much about the man's personal life. But he invents the game of basketball to be able to be played outside, indoor, mainly for the indoor, something to do during, winter season and whatnot. Fast forward, we see basketball being built up alongside baseball and football. Not as quite as popular yet, but it's coming. It's coming of age, a very American sport. It was segregated. Okay, understand that. That's very important to understand. Like the other sports, it was segregated. But why is this so important with basketball? Football, soccer. Okay, it's very. You can have very poor man's sport, if you will. Baseball, not so much. Football, 50-50. Even though you see it in a lot of areas, it's expensive. Okay, the equipment, especially in this day and age, if you know anything, the goalpost equipment. Basketball is a very inexpensive sport. I mean, John Naismith, he hung up pretty much a stick, backboard and a peach basket. Very inexpensive. All you need is a ball and a goal, and you can make goals out of anything. Anyone around the world can play that. And this sport was segregated. Now, you go to the Harlem Globetrotters. Fast forward a bit. And it was a Jewish man who took 6 brothers, okay, from, if I remember correctly, Chi-Town, it's been a while, okay? You can go look up the exact facts. But called them Harlem to let people know the whole black thing, and he took them around. And, it was a great opportunity, but it was using the talent, okay? I'm neutral because, it gave an opportunity, but it was using it. Hey, in a capitalist system, it is what it is. But anyways, so it brought to the forefront, you brought this phenomenal talent. You flash forward, college basketball, you had Rupp, his question was you had Kentucky and a few teams willing to play some black players. Then of course if you've seen Glory Road, you know about Texas Christian when they got 5 black players out there. You had guys like Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in his later years. And you had all these struggles, okay? Flash forward to, I'll flash forward to high school before I begin with the NBA history and how KD is able to even do this and why this is still a racial issue, still a systematic issue. High school basketball. College is not too bad because it's understandable that you're going to recruit. Recruiting, even though the NCAA want to try to do all this, you have to recruit. It's just what it is. People get recruited from all across the nation. Michigan recruits Florida athletes. Finally, they recognize the South. And that, I can get into that's another whole topic of discussion about the South and how the South has been screwed over and has had to claw and fight its way throughout history. But anyways, Cali, over in New York, and what I mean, recruiting. But high school showcases this whole systematic problem. Several schools got shut down. I remember my older brothers playing, and a certain high school institution was shut down because of its recruiting problems. They just were bold. Team guys were full blown, clearly out of district and out of whole thing. people, I mean, you still get around it because people be moving their mama, their grandma, their pops, all this place, auntie, uncle, and they're getting around with these loopholes, but they're still recruiting. You know, there's board schools. I mean, there's schools like where Carmelo Anthony went to, you name it. Then, of course, you got these AAU squads as well. High school is heavily about recruiting. People are okay with that. Why? Because it's systematic. The player, they can say, "Oh, the player gets." The players don't have choice. The player wants an opportunity, or the player's this skilled, and they suck talent, maybe away from the area, so that area suffers. That local high school suffers. I went to a very very small private school. I know how that affects it. Even in the county I was in, the bigger schools, some of the talent got sucked away to other places, because the resources were greater. And there's one institute that I will not name that you know they recruiting, when not just in basketball, but both male and female sports. Usually what happens is either a school will focus on a certain sport and be good, or at least one sex falls off. You know, eventually there'll be a fall off period generally. How can you be good through multiple sports? It's recruiting, but it's fine and dandy because it's systematic. It's just the way things are. People just accept that. Now, why does that tie in? People are given opportunities because of this big recruiting system. You get the KD, Melo, men among boys in college, right? Carmelo at Syracuse, KD at Texas. They go into the league. And then you can even add in Derrick Rose. You had, you know, when in high school, you had Kevin Garnett coming out of high school. You had LeBron, Kobe, and to a lesser degree, Dwight Howard. Okay, this is all fine and dandy. They all get drafted. Okay, that's just the system, the way things are. Again, I'll probably do another video on the not compensating the star athletes, but that again, that's another video another day, because it ties in all this. But to stay on point. Now let's backtrack it. Knowing this whole recruiting mentality, this whole mindset, it's all fine. You know, you had a racial segregated system. Then you had recruited to where it benefits the establishment, but not the player. No, you get a bunch of great players. You say, well, they can go to college. Yeah, maybe. Okay, you know, let's say they do all go to college and get that. Then what? Then what? Ask the then what? How is that honestly benefiting the player? When a lot of them could have been shining where they were, but they get pulled into the system. It benefits the school. It gives highlights to the school. You don't remember the player in a few years, unless it's the community. Understand? Or unless they make it big to the league. So it benefits the school, not the players. Okay? You look at the league, and you had Michael Jordan and a lot of old timers, you know, and even those who aren't that much older. They have to remember Charles Barkley and all of them. Oh, y'all didn't even have the opportunity. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. First of all, Magic Johnson. Why would he want to leave LA? Why would Larry Bird? They played with Hall of Famers. Bill Russell. All these. Back in the old times, there weren't that many teams. And as we progress, yeah, more teams. But Larry, the legend Bird, ended up on the Boston Celtics. On the Boston Celtics. Magic Johnson, Irving Magic Johnson ended up on the Lakers. You say Jordan. Who's going to take Jordan, and why would Chicago give that man up? Where was Jordan going to go? You had Dominique. Oh, the players, teams, the way things were constructed, it was all systematic. There was no individual freedom. Yeah, one of the biggest things for a player, and there's been a few of them, but you know, Pistol Pete Maravich with his $1 million contract, that was a win for the players. There's been other wins. You know, I remember the black man, I forget his name, but he opened the door for black players. There were certain wins, but at the same time, it was still within. Pistol Pete Maravich, yeah, he get that $1 million contract. What them W's? It's phenomenal as he was. Where the W's? I could go over into football. I won't linger on it, but Barry Sanders, prime example of what happens when you get drafted into a system and don't have a squad around you. They got squads built up. Look at the Bad Boys Pistons. Squad was built up. That was okay. You've been had super teams. the Celtics and Lakers, and even in the 80s, Celtics and Lakers. Then you had the Bad Boys Pistons. I won't say they're necessarily a super team, but Dominique Wilkins with Spud Webb and his Atlanta Hawks team. Then you get to the 90s. You had, Clyde the Glide Drexler with his squad, and the Portland Trailblazers, another super squad. You had the Supersonics, another super squad. You had the Jazz, another super squad, if you will. They don't have to be, creme de la creme super teams, but these were super squads. Houston, Orlando, of course the Bulls. The Pacers later, the Dynasty Lakers. You've been at the Spurs in recent years. You've had plenty of super squads. The Heat, that was all fine and dandy. The Boston Celtics. It wasn't until LeBron opened the floodgate. He's like, you know what? We're free agents. We can make our own decisions. Oh, now it's villainous because they built. That now the players are taking, the athletes themselves are making decisions. They're not being used by a system. See, again, like I mentioned at Worst Departures, The Matrix, Sean Marion, and so many horrible trades in the way that athletes are treated and underpaid and whatnot. I have no love for the association when it comes to those matters. The association is good in other matters. But when it comes to the treatment of players, oh, they should do this and that. First of all, not everybody's going to win championships. Look at Melo. Everybody's talking about, oh, yeah, dude, you can't have it both ways. Either Melo, oh, he's chasing money. He should be loyal. Melo been loyal. Barely gotten anything. I think the one Western Conference Finals with the Nuggets. Look at the. I'm not even. That's a whole entire separate discussion with the New York Knicks. I've been constantly speaking about them for years. But anyways, that whole organization is a. And I'll say it and I'll explain that later. But the whole organization is the worst in the past decade and such. Then the worst in the major professional sports, in American sports. With all that being said, KD's move is completely fine. If this was another era, if he got traded, you've heard it. Pay attention with the mainstream media. If he would have got traded, if things would have, if he would have went to other teams, why would you not go to the team that gives you the best opportunity to win? He was not going to win on OKC. That's facts. It's been proven for 9 years. Same thing with LeBron was not going to win with the Cavs. That's factual. Oh, it's not the same situation. Hell yeah, it is. Because look at the Cavs. Look at other teams being built up. Look at the Heat. Even though they gave up D-Wade, they looking to lock and load. Look at the Knicks. Even though KD's move, I said, well, actually, it was D Rose's move that opened up the floodgates. Teams are looking, players are looking to build switching. Look at the Clippers. Even though that move, I will get on to that with the league and how they screwed up the LA Lakers. Okay? I'm not a Lakers fan, but I've been speaking out against that for years. What I'm trying to say is, this systematic, you say, well, how are you what is the claim you're making? What is this whole point? That it's a systematic problem that we see. Originally it was racial, but now it's corporate. Corporate can do what they want, just like with banking, just like with, the quote-unquote educational system with college, and so many other examples I can give. People are so sucked in to the way corporate gets down that when players or individuals come up, oh, it's a problem. Look at business with the whole antitrust thing. It's a bigger issue than what people do. KD has been made a villain, just like LeBron. The mainstream media spin it, and then people just sucking in. I ain't gonna try to get too sexual, but y'all could probably think of a few things where probably a few thoughts coming in your head on that one. And ending this up, I've said it time and time again, I have absolutely no problem. I am glad for this. It does not mean it's going to be easy. Just like I made a video where they just got blown out the other night. People, there's chemistry that need to be developed. Loading up on talent, there's always sacrifice. But you got to sacrifice in order to want to win. It's going to water down. KD's like, what do people constantly say? We want championships. In order to get championships, you need to have players. Period. Where was KD supposed to go? What, join LeBron? Did you say the Heat? Maybe. But again, that's forming his own super team. With D-Wade, Whiteside, UD. If Chris Bosh is healthy, that's a super team. Unless KD formed a super team, he was not going to win. People saying, oh, the contender that was OKC. They trying to form a super team? No, I'll get on another, again, so many other videos I got to do. OKC's problem, and that's just one of the reasons, you know, and the reason why KD left, and all that good stuff, that glorious, that ugly stuff. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this whole situation. A lot of people are biased. A lot of people aren't looking from a historical perspective. A lot of people don't know how dirty the game is, how corrupt the system is. And KD, LeBron, they're superstar enough to where they can fight back, and I applaud them for it. I applaud them for it very well. They did not get screwed over by the system. They're saying, you know what, we are going to do things the way we want to. We're being judged by championships. We're not given the help that we need. Well, you know what? If you say, well, he was this and that way. OKC wasn't going to beat Cleveland. Just like they lost to Golden State, they weren't going to beat Cleveland either. They were going to lose in 6 to Cleveland. He lost to Miami in 5 back in 2012. Russell Westbrook wasn't going to help him take it to the promised land. That's the reality. They didn't have a squad to beat either Golden State or Cleveland. Let's keep it real. They weren't going to have a squad this year to be able to beat the Spurs again, Golden State, Cleveland, maybe even Portland. Come on now, y'all. Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. All right, y'all.